Did you know that by shopping at your local thrift store, you can reduce your ecological footprint and combat global climate change? Secondhand shopping is a simple and cost effective way to sustainably shop. Growing up, my mom and I bonded by going to Goodwill and yard sales, picking through used goods to find unique clothes and items. And when I learned that my decisions as a consumer can have an environmental impact, I decided to make a more consistent effort to shop more sustainably. The fashion industry is currently one of the largest contributors to environmental pollution. The retail industry capitalizes on the revolving door of clothing trends online. By shopping secondhand, you can end this constant cycle of consumption and find good quality products for a fraction of the retail price. It also lowers pollution emissions and reduces energy use. Secondhand shopping is a sustainable way to contribute to environmental conservation and reduce our ecological footprint. By extending the lifespan of previously used items through secondhand shopping, we can collectively reduce the fashion industry's environmental impact and live more sustainably. As climate change is on the rise, being more mindful of the impact of our consumption decisions is important more than ever. A new culture of consumerism has emerged where people replace their current clothes at a quick rate due to the accessibility and affordability of fast fashion. Fast fashion is clothing made cheaply through outsourced labor and mass produced at a quick rate to meet consumers' demands. And there's a lot of ethical concern around fast fashion, specifically the manufacturing and production process. Um, the outsourced labor in countries like Bangladesh, India, and Vietnam has become key in the fast fashion economy. This makes it easier for these large companies to mass produce trendy clothing styles at low cost but sell at retail prices. According to a 2018 article by Rachel Bick, Erica Halsey, and Christina Siakenga from Brown School in St. Louis, they describe they describe the environmental injustice issues that fast fashion poses. The manufacturing process of synthetic and natural fibers expends a lot of energy, and textile dyeing creates a lot of waste, as untreated wastewater is thrown into local water systems. Garment workers are also made to work in unsafe working conditions while they're being underpaid. So, this leaves room for more proactive and sustainable change in the fashion industry. They add how cheaply made clothing at these fast fashion retailers often ends up in landfills because of the disposable image of the product. In the 2019 book Fashionopolis: The Price of Fast Fashion and the Future of Clothes, the author Dana Thomas, a fashion and culture journalist, explains how this creates a colossal problem, as a lot of clothing made from synthetic materials are not biodegradable, so they just continue to pile up. And the average American throws out about 80 pounds of clothing and textiles annually. She adds how the volume of clothing thrown away by Americans has doubled in the last 20 years, from 7 million to 14 million tons. From textile production to textile waste, the current life cycle of clothing is not sustainable for the future. And while we're aware of the problems of fast fashion, let's get a better context of how it became so popular and how secondhand shopping can be used to combat its environmental impacts. Fast fashion is largely a result of companies supplying the demands of consumers and perpetually creating a loop of consumption and waste. While this is something we're becoming increasingly aware of more so now than in the past, the exploitation of natural resources and outsourcing labor is nothing new. Retailers like Forever 21, H&M, and Zara are notable fast fashion stores, and they've dominated the market by offering stylish and trendy clothing at such low prices. And this makes new styles a lot more accessible for a wider range of customers. The Pharma Innovation Journal published an article, The Sustainable Approach to Counter the Environmental Impacts of Fast Fashion, in 2021, which explains the role consumers play in the fast fashion industry. The authors from the Department of Textile and Apparel Designing at IC College of Home Science explain how consumers, specifically in high income countries, have an important role to play in supporting companies that practices to minimize their negative impact on the environment. An example of this would be avoiding the ethical concerns with fast fashion companies overall by instead shopping at a thrift store. And while the motivation for shopping secondhand wasn't always intentionally rooted in environmental awareness, it has evolved into a way for consumers to participate in a circular economy and give used clothes a new life. In the same article by the Pharma Innovation Journal, the authors explain how, in order to promote environmental injustice caused by fast fashion, is by shopping secondhand. I grew up shopping secondhand from my local Goodwill, and it was an opportunity for my mom and I to pick through a store of used clothes and find something to make new. It also became something like incentivized shopping because we could see who could find the best deal for the lowest price. And secondhand shopping offers an easy and sustainable way to shop for not only clothes, but also furniture, home goods, and electronic items. This extends the lifespan of previously used items at a reduced price. In a 2022 article about the slowing of the fast fashion industry for the Department of Industrial Engineering from the University of Naples Frederico II, the authors explained how extending the life cycle of a textile item significantly reduces the garment's climatic and environmental impact. This plays back into fostering a circular economy because secondhand shopping keeps textiles out of landfills, and we can collectively reduce our textile waste by secondhand shopping. Secondhand shopping on e-commerce is a thriving industry as it's gradually overshadowed the fast fashion industry. And in recent years, there's been a shift in the social perception of secondhand shopping. As global climate change and environmental pollution become large concerns of the public, some consumers use this concern as motivation for buying decisions, and this shift has yielded the success of online secondhand marketplaces like Depop, eBay, and Facebook Marketplace. According to a quote from a 2020 study from Underwood International College at Yonsei University, quote, overall, online secondhand platforms try to provide useful and easy, enjoyable user experiences. The combination of high user satisfaction, user empowerment, and involvement leads them to spend the same amount of time on secondhand resale platforms as on Instagram. The integration of technology and e-commerce has resulted in a diverse and larger market. This makes secondhand selling and buying even more convenient as we're experiencing a shifting landscape. Overall, secondhand shopping is a sustainable way to reduce our environmental impact and waste. Fast fashion creates a colossal problem due to its unsustainable manufacturing process and non-biodegradability, which creates textile buildup in landfills, and this problem stems from the market demand for clothing and large companies' exploitation of natural resources and underpaid labor. Secondhand shopping is an easy and effective way to combat the ethical concerns that come with shopping from these large supply chain clothing retailers. The expansive market that has been created for secondhand clothing has made it easier than ever to partake in secondhand shopping. In turn, this makes sustainability more accessible than ever. So next time you need a new t-shirt, try visiting a thrift store before you visit the mall because it could save you money and protect our planet. Thank you.